Pleiadian Master Teachings, Concepts from the Realms of Light. Channeled by Michael Love. Sacred Light Publishing, 2022. Chapter 7. Dimensions. This universe has 12 primary dimensional levels, and each resonates faster than the level below. All 12 dimensions exist in the only time that exists, now, and the only space that exists, here. Dimensions are often thought of as higher and lower levels, like the floors of a building. Dimensions, however, are not arranged in an up or down or higher or lower fashion. Since dimensions are different frequency ranges, one dimension simply vibrates faster or slower than another. Using the 1 through 12 sequential numbering system, the lower the number, the slower the vibration. Dimension 3 would vibrate slower than Dimension 5, for example. Dimensions are not physical, they are vibration bands measured in Hertz frequency. These dimensional frequency ranges are universal constants that do not change. Dimensions are separated from each other by protective frequency barriers that work like vibrational filters and only allow matching vibrational levels to enter that dimension. Typically, one dimension has nothing in common with another as they are entirely separated realities. The only thing that multiple dimensions have in common with each other is the conscious awareness that exists within them. It works like this: one already exists in all 12 dimensions in the same space-time, the same space at the same time. However, one's consciousness must resonate with the frequency range of a specific dimension to be aware of and operate in that dimension. The 12 dimensions of this universe correspond precisely with the 12 primary states of consciousness discussed in Chapter 1, and a dimension is simply a vibrational state of being. The vibrational energy or light data that a dimension is composed of is very structured. Therefore, this dimensional information can be decoded by consciousness and perceived as an entirely different outward reality. Currently, the dominant vibrational resonance among humanity falls within the third dimensional range, which resonates between 7 to 9 Hz. This energy field is very dense and vibrates slowly. At this slow vibrational rate, one's consciousness manifests and perceives more solid structure than energy. And this slower/lower vibrational rate creates the dualism experienced in the third dimensional realm. At this time in Earth's history, humanity's consciousness is evolving to the point where it will soon be able to perceive and function in a higher dimension right here on Earth. Humanity has existed in the third dimension for the last 350,000 years. They were intentionally placed into this lower state of consciousness by their creators, who had an agenda to control and manipulate them for selfish and commercial reasons. The third dimension is only one level above survival consciousness. Anyone who resonates in this state of being has little or no awareness that any other or better reality exists. The Pleiadians say, it is time for humanity to evolve to a higher state of consciousness, and the fifth dimension is the goal and focus. Quad. As soon as an Earth human has any awakening, they immediately bump up in resonance to the fourth dimension. Again, all dimensions occur in the same space at the same time, so this newly awakened being would find himself aware of higher vibrating things while walking on the Earth. In time he would notice the lower levels of the fourth dimension resonate higher than the third dimension. Still, the first few levels of the fourth dimension are more amplified versions of the nightmares that occur on third dimensional Earth. Most Earth beings who have awakened to the fourth dimension usually go all out to save the world from the negative things they have discovered. Still, a fourth dimensional being is not yet a master. So, though their intentions are noble and good, they usually move forward, bringing attention to the evils on Earth, which manifests even more of these low vibrational things. Many fourth dimensional beings are aligned with every political conspiracy on the planet. Most are protesting, fighting, and pushing against the evils of the third dimension, giving these things serious focus and energy, which only manifests more of the same energy. The powers that were who work hard to keep the vibration of humanity low know this, and they welcome this helpful activism. These world controllers know that humanity manifests what they see, so they ensure the not sunny stuff is placed right in front of Earth's collective consciousness every hour of every day via media. As a fourth dimensional being moves ever higher in vibration, they ultimately realize they cannot change anything in the external world directly and can only change themselves. They stop fighting evil the traditional way and learn to fight in a higher way. They learn to fight without fighting. They realize they will only be successful in making things better if they work to transform things energetically from the inside out. They stop trying to tear down the low vibrating control matrix and instead work with their brothers and sisters to create a new matrix of light that vibrates much higher. This new way of being is where one begins to gain true power and prepares to move into the fifth dimension. The fourth dimension is transitionary and serves as the perfect ascension training ground for the light beings of Earth to do their inner work toward conscious mastery. There are 7 sub-levels within the fourth dimension, and it is critical for the ascending being to intently jump in conscious vibration as fast as possible above the first 3 layers. All masters are aware that what is called hell is simply the first few layers of the fourth dimension, specifically the first layer, the astral realm. Beings that left their bodies on Earth with strong traumas or unresolved negative energies and emotions can land in this realm. Since low vibrations cannot move into the higher realms, these beings become stuck in the astral realm until they choose to transmute their low vibrational energy. A higher vibrating light being or guide always presents a free will opportunity for these stuck beings to choose light over darkness, transmuting their lower astral energy, crossing them over, above the astral realm, towards the higher light. The good news is that any being on Earth who makes any reasonable effort to raise their vibration while in the body will already be resonating above these lower fourth dimensional levels. An excellent way to think about the fourth dimension is that it is much like the third one, only amplified in power. The first layers of the fourth dimension are lower energies amplified, and the higher levels are higher energies amplified. As one moves from the third dimension up through the levels of the fourth dimension, it is possible to vibrate high in most areas but still possess some low vibrations. A prince dressed in fine clothing was walking up a celestial stairway, arriving at the gates of a king's palace. Before the prince knocks on the gate for entry, he looks down and notices he is carrying a smelly trash bag full of garbage. The prince quickly remembered that before he left for the palace, his wife had asked him to drop the garbage in the bin along the way. And quote, the Pleiadians. If one has cleared most of their trauma energies but still carries that one old energy around they have not dealt with and transmuted like the trash bag analogy above, issues will arise. All vibrations in the fourth dimension are greatly amplified from the third dimensional level, so any old uncleared trauma energy will continue to manifest negatively but will manifest much more powerfully. The Pleiadians teach that as one ascends, one must clear out all low vibrational energy. Let's say one is ascending well up into the fourth dimension, but they still ingest low vibrational toxic food. This didn't seem to matter so much in the lower realms, but if one is resonating in the higher realms and does this, the lower energy is amplified many times and will manifest as great pain and problems in the body. Of course, these pains and problems are a message from the universe for one to correct the issue quickly. The Pleiadians say, the ascending being must take the universal law of vibration seriously, and what one could get away with before, they can no longer get away with in the higher realms. All masters who have traveled dimensionally know there is a point at the very top of the fourth dimension, at the upper boundary of the seventh level, just before the fifth dimension, called the Great Void or the Great Chasm. One can think of making it to this point up the dimensional ladder, and they are standing there at the top edge of the fourth dimension. Imagine one standing at the edge of the Grand Canyon, with a massive cavern in front of them. They look across and see a beautiful celestial city on the other side called Heaven, the fifth dimension. The only issue is that one successfully made it this far on their ascension journey, so why now is this great void present that one cannot cross to get to this heavenly city? Here is why. This great void or chasm is the energetic barrier between the fourth and fifth dimensions. It keeps any vibrations that do not match from entering the fifth dimension. It is as if one needs a rocket to propel themselves across this great void, and this notion is not far from reality. A being must attain a perfected level of love before entering the fifth dimension. Think of the being's etheric body, the Merkaba, as the vehicle or rocket for traveling across dimensions, and think of love as fuel for the rocket. There are primarily two scenarios that can happen here to get across this dimensional barrier. The first scenario is that one has expanded their fourth dimensional energy center, the heart chakra, to the point where pure unconditional love has been achieved. This will be enough power to propel one's being across this great void. However, if one has gotten nearly there with the heart but is still standing on the fourth dimensional side of the great chasm, one may combine their love with the love of another to achieve the power needed to cross the great void. The only other love that is powerful enough to get one across the chasm to the other side is a true twin flame love. These two twin flames would have ascended to this last level together in perfect unison, and their combined love is so powerful it can easily propel both of them as one unit, across the great void, through the veil, into the fifth dimension. After much work to master one's state of being, one finally becomes pure love, truth, and light, penetrating heaven's veil. The fifth dimension is where everything changes in a significant way for ascending beings. One transcends all lower things when one ascends past the lower fifth dimensional boundary. Even though there are 7 unspeakably majestic dimensions above the fifth dimension, attaining this fifth level must be the first and immediate vibrational goal for the beings of Earth, because this is where a quantum leap occurs. One can realize their infinite God power and ability beginning at this level. As one moves vibrationally into the fifth dimension, an entirely new set of dimensional laws take effect and work in favor of the ascending being. Higher levels of information are available to consciousness at this point. Everything becomes much easier to achieve, and things become much more wonderful. A being also acquires many new abilities in the fifth dimension that could be considered supernatural. The fifth dimension has been called Heaven, Nirvana, Shambhala, and Brahman. This heavenly dimension emanates only love, peace, abundance, health, freedom, and joy, which are the 6 pillars of ascension. These 6 attributes of the fifth dimension are the most desired by all humans. But, Interestingly, not one of these most desired things is tangible. Pleiadian teaching about heaven. Someone asked, am I going to fly away to heaven one beautiful morning when I die? And quote. Here is our simple answer to this question. No. And quote. Here is the explanation of this answer. First of all, one cannot die. One's body can die, however, one is not a body but an eternal being that has no beginning or end. Furthermore, one's body doesn't have to die either if it is correctly cared for and body cells are regenerated. End quote. Secondly, one won't fly away to heaven one glad morning because there is nowhere to fly to, and there is certainly no time to get there. There is only one time and one place, right here and right now, eternally. Heaven is not up in the sky. If you think it is, the birds will get there before you do. End quote. It is not a place one goes to but a state of being. This heaven is the fifth dimensional, gamma state of consciousness, which resonates between 4100 Hz frequency. This bliss or ecstasy state of consciousness manifests outwardly as a beautiful and perfect world. Perceiving this world or reality provokes intense feelings of awe and majesty. End quote. How do you get to this heaven? A great master teacher said, this kingdom is inside of you and all around you, right now and right here, but you just can't see it yet. End quote. This master teacher illustrated that heaven is already here, on earth, now, and everyone is standing in the midst of it. It's just that until one is resonating at its level, one cannot see it. One must be aligned vibrationally with this kingdom of heaven dimension to perceive it. To get to this heaven, one must raise themselves to it. This raising of oneself is the daily mindful work of increasing one's vibrational level and is the divine ascension to heaven. The way to ascend to this divine realm is described in detail in our Ascension chapter. When the fifth primary DNA strand becomes active and connects to the fifth chakra portal, fifth dimensional light flows through the body, and consciousness can decode that dimension. A new fifth dimensional outer reality is then manifested by the consciousness decoding it, and the external world that exists right here and right now transforms into this heaven. This heaven is in no single place but exists everywhere, even on earth. Some call it the new earth or the fifth dimensional earth. Behold, I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the old heaven and the old earth had passed away. End quote. Heaven, the fifth dimension, is a glorious reality one can experience. It is 10,000 times greater than anything experienced in the third dimension. The implications are phenomenal here because one could be in this heaven by lunchtime tomorrow if they could elevate their internal vibration up just a few more notches. This notion provides a primary incentive to do the inner work necessary to expand consciousness levels. Under the divine laws of free will and sovereignty, everyone is responsible for their journey to heaven. Though one has access to master spiritual guides and teachers along this journey, no one can do this work for another, and no other being can get you there. One doesn't have to believe in dogma, rely on other divine beings, or even try and be good to go to heaven. They must open their energy centers, including the heart and throat chakras. Then, one shall become love, truth, and light and dwell in this beautiful celestial kingdom. The master who has an evolved consciousness not only has access to this heavenly fifth dimensional realm, but they are also the bringer of it to earth.